Gonna
So
love it out there.
next up is Luis Gil, obviously Rookie of the Year. Now, unlike the other Yankee pitchers, his finish to the season was not nearly as good as his start to the season.
Mhm.
Um, this was his first full season in the majors. He threw 151 innings after never throwing more than 96 in any season, including his minor league career. He threw 96 in 2019. He was not good his last 7 starts. He was not very good his last 15 starts. He threw 1,000 more pitches in 24 than he threw in any other season in his career. And they kept him on such a short leash in the playoffs, which was probably appropriate considering how poorly he had been pitching. And in 8 innings in his 2 starts, he had 4 strikeouts and 5 walks, which is not good. His strike percentage, even when he was all season, was 60%. And the strikeout rate of 10.15 for 9 innings was the lowest of his career. So, you know, the guy threw 150 innings after throwing basically none, right? In
Yeah.
23.
Can I ask you a question about him? Did you think he really had? Do you think he deserved the Rookie of the Year? It seemed interesting. He was so good at the beginning, locking. They were talking about MVP, Cy Young for him. He was so good at the beginning of the year. He was the best pitcher in the league for the first 6 weeks of the season,
Which
first
is what they
8 weeks of
needed
the season.
with Cole out.
That's right. But then afterwards, I never felt that he had a terrible middle of the season, and then he seemed to come back at the end. But I
No,
was
he was
really
bad at the end. He
surprised.
was bad at the end.
I was really surprised that he won. Between you and me, I'm thrilled that he won. It's great. It
I
was a
would have
great
chosen
season.
I would have chosen
But
him over Wells. And the guy from the Orioles, I don't think it was the strongest of classes, to be honest with you.
yeah,
So, but his last few starts were not particularly good.
Mhm.
His whip was up. Opponent's batting average was down, but his walks were way up toward the end of
yeah.
the season. So, it is what it is with him. But, pitching as many innings as he did after not throwing more than 96 in any year, and that was in 2019, that gets worrisome. But I will give the Yankees credit, they did not put him on an innings limit last year. The Yankees
Yeah.
are one of the several teams that went into the science and said they look at things other than purely innings to decide whether or not a player needs to be shut down. And it had to do with velocity and mechanics more so than anything else. Although with his control getting worse over the course of the season, I'm curious as to whether or not his mechanics were actually tight enough. So he's an injury risk, not as much as Rodon, I don't think, but it's kind of scary. He does have a minor league option left if something really wacky happens and they
Mhm.
need to send him down. He's got an option left.